It's an absolute delight for 80s cartoon lovers. Thundarr the Barbarian returned in a 6-issue opening story arc published by Dynamite Comics. Thundarr is riding again with the powerful Ookla the Mok and the beautiful and brilliant Princess Ariel. This new adventure, written by Jason Aaron and illustrated by Kewber Baal, has been incredibly interesting so far. We've learned about the backstories of our favorite heroes and the nefarious plan of the Council of Wizards that threatens to end humanity itself. Last we saw them, Thundarr and our friends were at a disadvantage, but have received help from an unlikely friend. Will they triumph and ride again, or will the Wizards win? Let's find out in the 6th and final issue of Thundarr the Barbarian. The adventure so far. In Thundarr's fictional timeline, 1994 was the year when everything changed on Earth. A runaway planet hurtling between Earth and the Moon unleashed cosmic destruction, which led to the rise of mutants. For the next 2,000 years, Earth was ruled by wizards who harnessed magic, the technology of the bygone era. These wizards were ruthless, greedy, authoritarian, and selfish. The only hope of humanity was the riding trio Ookla the Mok, Thundarr the Barbarian, and Ariel the Sorceress. During one of their adventures, the trio discovers that the Council of Wizards has been fixing the Moon Dial, a device that would give them the power to control time. Our heroes galloped in to stop them, but they were too late as all the wizards traveled back in time to siphon energy from the runaway planet to end humanity once and for all. While Ariel watches in horror, wondering what to do, the Council is joined by Ariel's previously assumed dead adoptive father, Sabine. Ariel's powers are no match for theirs, and Sabine sends her crashing down the high building they're atop with a powerful spell. It looked like Thundarr and Ookla had lost while charging at the wizards, trying to defeat them with their brute force. But how many wizards can the two powerless warriors take? They kill one, and as soon as they turn their attention to the others, the dreaded spell is cast. Ookla and Thundarr begin to disappear from reality itself. As Ookla fades into nothingness, the sorcerers reveal that their fate is worse than death for Thundarr. They shackle his last shred of existence to a post. Invisible and mute to others, Thundarr is forced to watch humanity suffer under a supernatural plague. Whoever survives the plague is forced to fight each other in the arena for the entertainment of the wizards. Eventually they forget about it, but Thundarr attacks as soon as he gets the chance. In retaliation, the wizards unshackle him and send him back to the moment just before Ookla disappears. To know what happens next, we have to time travel too. In the comic, it's revealed that Thundarr was Lord Sabane's prisoner and fought in his arena. Despite his miserable existence, Thundarr used to dream of a time when he was a free man, riding all over the world with a wise young sorceress and a powerful beast. Sabane's arena was located where Ariel first saw Thundarr. Sabine had only adopted Ariel because she had a penchant for sorcery and had put her through all kinds of torture to make her a good sorceress. Ariel, through Thundarr, saw a chance to defeat Sabine and free all the humans suffering under him. Sabine recognized Thundarr as a threat, and to eliminate him, he brought in Ookla the Mok. Afraid that her one chance to get back at Sabine will be eliminated, Ariel meets Ookla and Thundarr in secret and tells them about the prophetic dreams that she's been having, the very ones Thundarr was having as well. She hands Thundarr the Sun Sword, given to Sabine by the Pigmen, and asks them to trust her. Sabine, however, finds out about his adoptive daughter's treachery and throws her in the arena with Thundarr and Ookla, threatening to have all the slaves killed if she doesn't kill Thundarr. The trio team up and Sabine is killed. But before they can celebrate though, Ariel has a vision of the future in which she sees they're all disappearing. So they rush to their own aid using a magical pendant, and that's where we left off. Only Thundarr can help Thundarr. Thundarr knew he was about to be erased from reality itself, but now in front of him, he saw himself. Thundarr, not so beaten down. Next to this new Thundarr, he saw another version of Ookla. Present Thundarr thought it was another one of the wizard's nasty tricks, much to the annoyance of past Thundarr, who wondered if he was always so slow-witted. Past Thundarr quickly introduced himself as Thundarr from a different era. He also introduced past Ookla to present Ookla, but the two Moks butted heads, quite literally, and began fighting. Past Thundarr called Ariel to help, which surprised present Thundarr, as he had just seen her die thanks to Sabane's spell. Past Ariel healed present Ariel by siphoning energy from the Cataclysm with a potent spell that reminded her that their fight was not yet finished. As soon as present Ariel opened her eyes, she was confused for a second or so, but immediately recognized her past self from the innocence in her eyes. She was about to reveal more about the forthcoming possibilities, but past Ariel shut it down as they had more pressing matters to look into. The two Ariels knew that the past versions of the trio wouldn't last long if they failed to reverse the wizard's spell. Knowing that neither of them ever forgave their father for what he did to them, the two Ariels decided to focus on making sure that Sabine stayed dead this time. The wizards, who were too busy celebrating their victory, didn't know what hit them as two versions of the man attacked them, who they hated. The Thundarrs, Ooklas, and Ariels fought with ferocious fervor. Around them, the Great Cataclysm devastated the planet. Continents crumbled, forests turned to ash, oceans boiled, and what were once great human achievements became nothing more than rubble, destroying countless lives. At that moment, the 6 heroes stood as humanity's immediate defenders. They fought despite knowing the horrors that awaited humanity. They fought for the next day, for the simple hope that a better dawn awaited them. They fought for humanity with absolute inhumanity, falling upon the wizards who dared to challenge the reality of human existence. They fought for freedom, laying waste to the forces of fascism, warlords, and slavers. As the remaining members of the council were crushed beneath the mighty feet of heroism, the 2 Ariels cornered the last wizard remaining, Lord Sabine. In the comic, Sabine looked up at the 2 women whose childhood he had destroyed. Without any hesitation, he told Ariel that he was right about her extraordinary skill in sorcery, and she had no one to thank but Sabine for it. He cackled as he reminded her that no matter what future she writes, Sabine will always be a part of her. The Thundarrs and Ooklas couldn't hear more of this audacious and cruel bragging. As they lunged at him, the Ariels stopped them. The Ariels reasoned that someone as powerful as Sabine could never die, so they had come up with a unique punishment for their dear father. Since he traveled to the past to harness the runaway planet's destructive power, they decided to let him experience that power. They chained him to the runaway planet, forcing him to travel alongside it for hundreds of thousands of years, burning alongside it until one day it would rip itself apart and take Sabine with it. What a cruel and unusual punishment. I didn't think Ariel could ever do something so diabolical. As the planet flew away, Thundarr mused out loud that Sabine's dream had finally come true, as he had the one thing he always wanted, a planet without humans. Aftermath of a planet's curse. The 2 Thundarrs set the wizards' corpses on fire, while the Ooklas treated themselves to some premium sorcerer meat. The 2 Ariels gazed upon the destroyed planet, wishing that they could do something more to help humanity. Though they knew spells that could reverse the destruction, they were aware that they'd already tampered with the timeline and risked an even greater catastrophe by continuing. They'd undone the wizard's spells for the humans of their era, and all they could do was hope. Present Ariel asked past Ariel whether they'd only saved humans' lives so that they could live in a never-ending twilight. But past Ariel told her that there was a dawn yet to come. So, she told her to keep fighting the good fight, addressing her as the queen before returning to her own time with Thundarr and Ookla. The word queen threw off present Ariel, but she did think more of it and returned to the time that awaited her. That day was the dawn of a strange new world that had sorcery, savagery, and super science. It also led to the birth of a man who would fight for justice with a fabulous sun sword against the forces of evil they encountered. In the past, the amulet Ariel had used to time travel had nearly melted. Ariel theorized that its powers must be exhausted, and figured that it was for the best, as time travel should never be easy. Though they knew from the melting amulet that they had traveled to the past, none of them remembered what had happened. Ariel tried to search for a memory that could give her the answer, but Thundarr was already on his horse, telling them to continue. They couldn't rest while evil wizards were still wandering the world, terrorizing humans. In the comics epilogue, Ookla, Thundarr, and Ariel rode to many regions across the earth, from the Badlands of the Bat Raider to the Valley of the Man-Apes to the ruins of Manhattan and the Den of the Sleeping Demon. With each new adventure, their legend grew, and years later there came a day when everything would be changed for the better. The Rat King received news that his kingdom was being invaded. He assumed it was the Karoks and wondered why the mutant kind fought among themselves. However, the truth stunned him. It was a human invasion. Not just 1 or 2, but a group of newly escaped slaves. This was every single human. The Rat King's castle wall came crashing down, and a voice announced that mercy would be granted if the Rat King begged for it. It was Thundarr, Ookla, and Queen Ariel, now aged and weathered but grown in wisdom and skill. The sun sword gleamed in Thundarr's hand, his beard a sign of the passage of time and his body scarred. Ookla wielded his battle axe and wore an eye patch, showing that he too had suffered during this time. Queen Ariel stood poised with a magical aura surrounding her palms. Thundarr offered him war if that's what the Rat King preferred, and announced his slaughter in the name of Ariel, Queen of the Humans. The Rat King wisely surrendered, and with that, the last slave city fell. Many years and many wars later, Ariel could finally celebrate the fact that humans were now truly free. Ookla embraced her with a smile, but Ariel noticed that Thundarr had a melancholic expression. He revealed that he remembered the horrible memories of when the wizards had shackled him to watch humanity suffer and die. He remembered being the last human alive, and wondered if that future would someday return. Ariel helped Thundarr's face gently as she told him that the remaining members of the council and the reason for that victory were Thundarr. She thanked him for leading the way, not just for humanity, but for her as well. As the moment grew tender, Thundarr turned away from Ariel. Thundarr did not have the words to say what he wanted to, as he was bothered by his days as a slave. She knew what he wanted to say before he could say it. She knew Thundarr wanted to be the freest of the free and seek more adventures. So she wished him the best of luck and bid him goodbye. Composing himself, Thundarr found the words he wanted to say. He told his greatest friend Ookla and his queen Ariel that he, Thundarr, the son of the frozen mountains, slave of the wizard Sabine, barbarian of the wasteland, would ride no more. As Ookla cheered them on, Thundarr and Ariel shared a kiss, and with that, a new age began. 2,000 years after the Great Catastrophe, this would be the era of freedom, magic, peace, justice, and compassion. Chills. literal chills. This was such an amazing end to the saga. The sudden cut to the fall of the slavers felt rushed, but on the bright side, there are a whole lot of stories between the original story and the epilogue that can be told through more comic books. There were a few moments where the art felt inconsistent, but the strong writing did well to distract me. Each character had been written with such depth that I had never once doubted what they were saying. Ariel's helplessness even after saving her friends, Ookla's impulsiveness, and Thundarr's bravery shine through the comic book. My absolute favorite moment is the very last, when Thundarr, Ookla, and Ariel burst through the Rat King's castle in the name of Queen Ariel. I'm dying to find out how Ariel became Queen of the Humans and how the love story between Ariel and Thundarr blossomed. Comic book creators, if you're looking for leads, you should be writing this down. What was your favorite moment of the series? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our wonderful channel, and ring that notification bell. I'll be back with more awesome stuff. But until then, have a great day.